what we depend on every day was built and paid for by other people. We are standing on the shoulders of giants who have worked to create what we use every single day. We are stewards of this county, yet when you cross county lines, the pavement falls apart in this county. And somehow, the conservative ideology, it's become okay to squander the investments of our forefathers instead of being stewards of what they've entrusted us to care for. By putting off repair and maintenance of our infrastructure, the backlog makes it more expensive. It's like having a house and never fixing anything and wondering why is everything falling apart, right? We must respect those sacrifices. We need to de-Bruce this county for one. We need to invest in our public school systems and take back our education. So please, if you want to do something, the priority we need right now is our future. Our education of our children is so important. So please run for city council. Those not city council, for school board. Those elections are in November. Talk to us. So government is what we do together that we can't do alone. I can design a bridge. I'm an architect. But I can't build it on my own. I can't build our water systems, our power grid, our internet, our healthcare, our public education system. I can't research climate change or how to solve our opiate addiction in this country without the infrastructure that our ancestors invested in, our forefathers built. And it is our patriotic duty to pay our taxes in this great experience. Duty to do together what we cannot do alone. It is our patriotic duty also to hold our government accountable for what they are doing as well. We have to take care of our soldiers when they go to war and when they come home. And we need to take back that language and that flag, because we are Americans and it is our right to own that which our ancestors put forward. It's our patriotic duty to ensure that the systems that our grandparents put in place after the Great Depression, so that we would not suffer, like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, and that they're there for our grandchildren. Funding science, art, and innovation to push our economy into balance so that we can stand up to the challenges of the future. It doesn't make us smart to not pay our taxes. We must insist that anyone who's at the top of the ballot is not getting a free ride from the rest of us. It is our patriotic duty to ensure that our president pays his taxes and is transparent with the American people. We deserve to know who is at the helm of this country. We also can push our legislators to pass a bill that no presidential candidate may appear on our state ballot unless they release the previous 5 years. Connecticut, Massachusetts, California, New Mexico. If you have nothing to hide, then why not be transparent? With the current lack of checks and balances, the GOP are kids in a candy store cutting everything they can possibly cut to benefit corporations at the expense of the American people. They have forgotten that the basis of their ideology of conservative is conserve, or conservation. Initially based on the conservation of our environment, lest we forget that in fact it was Richard Nixon who created the EPA that they are now dismissing. The GOP has become a rogue force where truth, science, justice, and humanity and our very future is under threat. The Democratic Party is the only organizing force that can stand up and win back those 1,000 seats that we have lost since 2008, 20 of which we can work on in this county alone with the fiercest ground game and outreach this county has ever seen. But we need
the language clear today. We are not asking for you to show your taxes. We are demanding you show your taxes. We are demanding that you act like an adult. We are demanding that you run this country the way it's meant to be run and quit being on Twitter acting like a fool. Our lives are not a game to play with. We have children. We have children that deserve quality education and quality of life. We have women that birth those children, the generals and the queens of this nation, of the world, and you have no right to tell them what they can and cannot do with their bodies. Come on now, everybody has a mother, and I know I love mine and respect her. She taught me how to stand up for myself, how to be a righteous adult, how to love my fellow man and woman. So what I'm here to say is we need to continue to stand. We will not give up. We will not stop. We will get our demands or he gets out. Because here it is. We keep applying pressure. You know what the next move is. If he doesn't act right, he's got to get out. Power to the people. Like we played earlier, get up, stand up, get up, stand up, get up, stand up, get up, stand up. All power to the people.
Transparency in what passes for presidential leadership. It's more like presidential greedship, isn't it? Despite the fact that 3 out of every 4 Americans are demanding to see the tax returns of Trump, he is still refusing. He has still revealed nothing of his recent tax returns. But what he has shown us is troubling. A lack of regard for all of the wealthiest of the citizens of the United States. Concern for poor people, for immigrants, for refugees, for the working class, the middle class, for you and me. And we are here to say no more. No more hiding. No more distraction. We are here to call to account the person occupying the presidency of this country. And showing tax returns is a simple step in acknowledging that he works for us. To us, the American people. Today to say, show us your taxes, we are also gathering to say, you cannot declare war unilaterally. You cannot declare war on women's bodies, not on the lives of our incarcerated brothers and sisters, not on the lives of people of color or refugees or the LGBTQIA community, not on our water, not on our planet, not now, not ever. You and I have breath. We will march. We will rally. We will write letters. We will show up like never before in local and state elections. Whose flag is this? Whose country is this? Alright, then we are taking back this flag and this country and all that it stands for. Do not give up. Show us your taxes.
My name is Jillian. I'm a mother. I'm a domestic scientist. I trained as a midwife, and I am a concerned citizen above. Like many of you, like all of you, I am concerned about the greed and the discrimination and the violence coming out of D.C. It scared me, and so I got involved. We can't stand by and let corporations and other countries run our government. This is our country. The only way
we can know that our country is being run by a leader who's not in somebody else's pocket, who's not in it to make money, is if he shows his taxes. You say you can't release them because they're under audit, but what about 2016? So, if you want to keep holding DC accountable, come join my group. We organize visits to the local offices right here downtown and then up north at Kelly Johnson to our members of Congress, and we hold them accountable. Absolutely. So the way we do that is we have a Facebook group where we post all of our events. We also have an email list where we send out the many ways that you can participate, because we're not all comfortable coming out and standing in front of a crowd. We're not all comfortable going to a march. So if you want to send a postcard, if you want to give a call or leave a voicemail, these are all ways that you can make your voice heard, that you can tell them, this is not good enough. So, on Monday, we have our second With or Without You Town Hall. You may have seen it on the news in February. We had over 250 people come and participate.
The wealthy have created a situation in which the tax burden in this country is placed almost entirely on the backs of working people who do not have the legal and financial resources to skirt their obligation to pay their fair share in taxes. Throughout the general election and well into his presidency, President Trump has insisted that he has been advised by his lawyers to not release his tax returns while he's being audited by the IRS, but we know this to be complete nonsense. Nonsense. Every president since Richard Nixon, including presidential candidates, have released their tax returns to allow the public to see the full story of their business dealings, financial ties, foreign ties, and potential conflicts of interest. The American people have a right to know this information about our president, but he clearly does not share this view. And we must ask ourselves why. Why would President Trump refuse to release his tax returns? Any reasonable person can draw the conclusion that his refusal to do so lies in his desire to keep this information from the American people, and only he really knows the true reason why. While Trump hides the full truth of his tax returns from the American people, he and congressional Republicans are revving up for their next big legislative push, tax reform, which in reality means tax cuts for their wealthy campaign contributors and gutting programs of social uplift at the expense of the overwhelming majority of this country's population. Because it apparently isn't easy enough already for the wealthy to avoid paying their fair share in taxes, Trump and congressional Republicans want to make it even easier for wealthy campaign contributors to hoard as much money as possible. President Trump would personally benefit from so-called tax reform, and the American people have a right to see the president's tax returns before any tax reform legislation is introduced in Congress. This presidency has been shrouded in secrecy from day one. The American people deserve transparency and openness. Government must function in an accountable and ethical manner for the public to have faith in our elected officials. We need transparency and strong safeguards against corruption to ensure that the President, administration officials, and Congress are free from wrongdoing and conflicts of interest. Officials should not use their offices to benefit monetarily, nor engage in hidden entanglements with foreign governments from debt investments which could pose risk to public safety or public interest. President Trump must release his full tax returns. We believe that public servants must be accountable to the people who elect them, not the other way around. The public has a right to understand the financial relationships and potential conflicts of interest of their elected leaders. Therefore, President Trump must immediately release his full tax returns, as all presidents and major party presidential candidates have done for the last 40 years. Furthermore, Congress should enact legislation requiring this president and future presidential candidates to disclose their tax returns before getting on the ballot. We need to know if the president is personally benefiting from the policies that he is proposing, and because we want to know if he has contributed his fair share of taxes. We march because we will not stand by while the rich and powerful govern this country, guided only by their best interests and not the best interests of the American people as a whole.
What do we want? When do we want them? What do we want? When do we want them? And he will say that he is not required by law, because he's a U.S. citizen, to share his taxes. And that's true. Nobody is required to share their taxes in the United States of America. If you want to come by later today, I'm doing my taxes. And you can come in and you can weep with me at the amount I have to, the check I still have to write to the government. So he doesn't. But what he did repeatedly during his campaign was to promise. He promised us that he would show us his taxes as early from May 2014 on Irish TV. And you don't lie on Irish TV, because we remember. He said, and I quote, "If I decide to run for office, I'll produce my tax returns. Absolutely, and I would love to do that." One more quote from February of 2016 on NBC News. Matt Lauer asked, "When are you going to release your taxes?" Trump says, "Probably over the next few months. They're being worked on now." Lauer asked, "What's the holdup?" And this is a quote, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me. "They are it's the very big tax returns. The biggest, I guarantee you this, the biggest ever in the history of what we're doing. So it's very complicated stuff. But we'll be releasing that." Is why it is so important for him to uphold his promise.
democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I think if we wait here, we'll get everybody done.
No more. We must taxes. When do we want it? Now. What are we doing?
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy